My name is Ella Christian. I'm here to interview Matt Lewis, the actor who plays Neville Longbottom in Harry Potter. I'm looking forward to it and feeling very excited. I'm a very big fan of Harry Potter and hope this interview goes well. How did they film the booking broomstick on the Philosopher's Stone?
So that was actually my first week of filming when I shot the Philosopher's Stone. It was I was 11 years old and I came into the we were at Northumberland actually at Hogwarts Castle, and they said right, we're shooting the scene where you get on the broomstick and it's going to fly around and do all kinds of stuff. And being 11 years old, I thought it was pretty cool, but I was also terrified because it was my first experience of filming, on Harry Potter. Went down and basically they had a few different ways of doing it. They actually had a broomstick there that we sat on, and they attached it to a giant crane on the back of a truck, and then this truck sort of just drove around with me on the broomstick, and the crane would go up and down, and it could spin. The truck just drove around, and then obviously in the post-production they took the truck out with special effects and stuff. How
did they make you be suspended in mid-air by the Cornish pixies in the Chamber of Secrets?
Well, that's the stunt department that really took care of that one, and special effects. And for that they put me in a full harness underneath my clothes, and then they had two cables coming out of either side that would just pull me up into the air, but then they had to get prosthetics to develop two rubber sort of like this silicone kind of ears, and they glued them onto the side of my head, and then they attached them to fishing rods effectively, and then two guys either side of me, as the cables were pulling me up from there, the two guys either side would pull on the fishing rod so it looked like my ears were being stretched, these rubber ears, and then they added all the pixies and stuff afterwards.
How did you first react when you found out you were going to be filmed in Harry Potter?
It was a kind of a surreal kind of moment, because I'd been for the audition. I'd acted before, but nothing on the scale of Harry Potter, and I was a huge fan of the books. And I'd been for the audition, and we'd not heard anything for 2 months after the audition, so we pretty much thought, better luck next time. And then I got a recall, and I went down for that. Met the director, which was totally, that was a big surprise. We just didn't expect it at all. And then I think it was like 2-3 days later they called and said I got the part. And I think I was with my friend Anthony Waterhouse, and we were sat in my living room playing PlayStation or something, and my mum came in and she just gave me the thumbs up. And I think we went ballistic actually. I think we just tore the room apart, just jumped up and down, and it was pretty crazy. It's a pretty weird week that actually, sort of realising and having it sink in that I was about to do Harry Potter.
How did they film the Boggart in Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban?
Well, again, the special effects guys are genius. They set up this rig. It's the wardrobe, if you remember, where the Boggart came from, and they set it up with all this kind of these hydraulics that basically from off the side they could make the wardrobe move and shunt around as if something was in it, and all these different ways. And then obviously the first person to come out of the cupboard is Snape, so we had Alan Rickman there coming out of the cupboard, and he walked down, and then he got halfway and he'd do a little spin, and they'd cut the tape, and then he'd go and get changed into the grandma's clothing, which was kind of a weird thing to see. Alan Rickman coming onto set in women's clothing was kind of odd, and he came in, and then we rolled again, and so that when they finished it, the special effects guys could make it look as if it was all one scene. All sort of stuff that they do in the cut after the film, really. And yeah, a lot of those things were props. We had a giant spider that we stuck in there. It wasn't on roller skates, but we had a giant spider. We had the big Jack-in-the-Box that came down. Yeah. They actually built that full size. Most of the objects that were used in that sequence, although they were sort of mixed with special effects as well, most of them were fully sized props that were built just for that scene.
Do you sometimes wish Hogwarts was real?
When I was younger, that was the thing that was so great about Harry Potter was the sheer escapism of the stories. They were so wonderfully written, and the universe was so vivid and deep that you could easily just pick up a book, no matter where you were or what you had been doing. If you just picked up the book, you could just lose yourself in that world. And there was plenty of times when I was younger that I was like, yeah, I wish that was real. Because I mean, at the end of the day, the way it was written was that it could be real. You know, it was always that kind of thing where it was just behind the scenes. Like you could go down a street in London, it was just behind a brick wall, and there was Diagon Alley, and it was just kind of cool. And I kind of like that idea.
How do people in charge of special effects make spells shoot out of wands?
I don't know. I don't know. No, I mean we have our wands, and we have to do all the shouting stuff, which is pretty cool. You know, when you're running around, you're firing spells at each other. But you all look a bit silly when you're actually in a room just doing it and nothing's actually happening. You know, firing spells at each other. It's kind of like honestly, it's like being 11 years old again and just messing around with your friends, you know, doing stupid stuff. Because nothing's actually happening. You're all dressed up in costumes and things. But then when you see it on the screen afterwards, they've added all these amazing spells, and I'll be honest, I don't know how they do it. It's a lot of computer generation and very, very smart men, smarter than I am, that sit behind these computers all day long making these things look brilliant, make us look a lot better than we actually are, I promise you. But it's it's fascinating. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but it's pretty cool.
If you could ever have the choice to play a different character, who would it be?
I think I'd probably wanted to have played one of the bad guys. I think like one of the Malfoys, Draco or Lucius Malfoy. I'm a bit older. I mean Jason and Tom, Jason Isaacs who plays Lucius and Tom Felton who plays Draco are both so good at what they do, and primarily because in real life they're two of the nicest people on the cast, and you can just chat to them all day long. They're very talkative, very just bubbly and fun people to be around. And yet when they shout action, they suddenly become these nasty, sinister people. And it just looks like so much fun. I really want to have a go at that. So, yeah, probably Draco Malfoy.
Who is your favourite Defence Against the Dark Arts teacher and why?
Let's think. I always liked Professor Lupin. Yeah, I don't know. I liked I liked his character. I thought he was the best teacher that they had out of all of them, and I liked that he was sort of part of that group. You know, when he was young, the whole Padfoot and stuff with Sirius Black, and he was a bit of a troublemaker when he was at school, and now he's grown up to be a teacher. That's kind of cool. I kind of liked him.
In what ways are you like Neville Longbottom?
I'm very forgetful. I just left my watch at home, which is a bit annoying. And I'm very, very clumsy, like stupidly clumsy. I spill things, drop things. I need to get insurance on pretty much everything I own because I'm so clumsy. But I mean, he's got a lot more courage than I do. He's got a lot of loyalty, a lot of heart. And obviously in the beginning he was very vulnerable and shy, and that wasn't really like me that much. But now he's older. He's become this sort of resistance leader, and he's got more courage and belief in himself than I'll ever have in the new Deathly Hallows. So we're not too alike there, but yeah, definitely forgetful and clumsy.
How do you feel about the Harry Potter films coming to an end?
It's interesting because obviously doing a film for 10 years, and it's going to be 11 years by the time the last premiere happens next year. And it's been fantastic, and I wouldn't change anything. But it's been a long time. When you're an actor, you want to do different things. You want to do more challenging stuff, and sort of playing the same role for so long. I wouldn't say it's got tedious at all, because it's been brilliant. But I just say we just want to have the new experiences and new challenges. So as much as it will be sad, because I'm not actually employed anymore. So that's a bit rubbish. But I'm looking forward to going out and getting some more work, some different stuff, and just see how it goes. So it's an interesting time at the minute.
Have you read the Harry Potter books? Which is your favourite?
I read the first 3 or 4 before I even knew they were doing a film, and I went for my audition, and then obviously I read them all. As soon as they came out. After that, I didn't. There was never any specific recommendation from anyone that said, "Oh, you should read the books before you make the films." I just wanted to. I was such a big fan. I wanted to read them, not because I wanted to know what I was doing. I wanted to read them because I wanted to find out what happened in the story. So yeah, I was a huge fan. And if I was to pick a favourite, it's tough. It was either Prisoner of Azkaban, because two of the best characters in the series, Sirius Black and Professor Lupin. So probably Prisoner of Azkaban or the Order of the Phoenix. I really liked the whole Ministry of Magic stuff at the end when they went to the big battle. That was pretty cool.
What are your plans after the Harry Potter films finish?
I've got an audition today actually for for a play by Charles Dickens. So that's hopefully that should be quite interesting. Really, I don't know. I mean, I want to act. I've acted since I was 5, which is 16 years. It's kind of odd. So yeah, I don't really know if I could do anything else. So I want to stay in acting, and fingers crossed I'll be doing that, and we'll just see how it goes. It's not really one of those industries you can really predict very well. So we'll just have to wait and see. I'll do my best, and hopefully you'll see more of me at some point in the future.
If you could be any type of biscuit, what would you be and why?
I was watching Have I Got News For You last night, and they're talking about Gordon Brown, and he couldn't answer this question apparently. I would, if I could be any biscuit, what would I be? Oh, well, I'd like to think I'd be like a chocolate hobnob because they're the best, obviously. But probably something rubbish, like a Garibaldi or something like that. A pink wafer, perhaps. I don't know what that means about me. There's something rubbish that's not not very popular. I don't know. Yeah, it's a pink wafer. I don't know what that means, but there you go.
Have you enjoyed your day at the Railway Museum?
Well, I just got here, but yeah, no, I've been here before. It's pretty cool. I mean, I wouldn't say I'm a train enthusiast, but you know, they're fascinating pieces of machinery, and you know how they've throughout the history of mankind, what the train did for the evolution of man, the industry and whatnot. I think it's fascinating, so it's kind of cool to come here and see it. Obviously, when you're on the train, you don't appreciate like the size and what goes into it. So to stand like next to this here, that's pretty cool. I like seeing that firsthand.
What is it like to go on one of the carriages of the Hogwarts Express? It's
odd because we don't actually. How do I describe it? Basically, we have the actual train carriages, and they sort of, instead of filming on the train, because obviously we've got a lot of crew and a lot of camera equipment and things. What we do is we've recreated the carriages at the studio, and we do our interior sort of shots. And basically, it's just on the outside, it just looks like a cardboard box. And on the inside, they've decorated it to look like a cabin, when you've got each individual sort of booths that you go into and the comfy chairs. And it just looks like any train from the inside. But from the outside, you've got 2 guys with planks that just go up and down to make the thing look like it's moving. And so it's not actually going anywhere, it's just stood still. And then we've got lots of wires and lots of camera equipment going in, and so it's very interesting. On one half of the thing, it just looks like a train. On the other half, it just looks like a cardboard film set. So it's kind of an odd thing, but yeah, it's cool to be on doing the outside shots. When you do the outside train shots, then we are actually on the train. When you see the train going through the sort of the Scottish Highlands and whatnot, then we're actually on the train there, and they've got proper full-on carriages. Yeah, it's only when they do the interior shots we move to the studio. So it's kind of cool.
I thought Matt Lewis was very nice, and I shouldn't have been nervous because he was just very nice, so I didn't need to be nervous. I thought his answers were very fun and strange. and I think a pink wafer, if he doesn't want to become eaten, he shouldn't go near Massam, as my best friend Marina she just loves pink wafers, so he shouldn't go over there if he doesn't want to be eaten.
A lot of